But for those of us that don't have just unlimited funds, it just opens it up where you can really shoot anywhere.
Thank you so much for joining the podcast. Creative Haven. What we really want to do is to help other creatives be inspired and also be proud of being creative, and also take those creative passions and turn it into either a part-time hobby or even a full-time job and career in business. And I would love interviewing other people who have taken their creativity and their artistry and created a business out of it and just a career out of it, and so we can inspire others to do the same. And just looking at everything that you've done, it's just so amazing how you've been able to just combine technology along with movie making and filmmaking and creating videos. So I just wanted to say thank you so much, Tim, for hopping on. I really do appreciate you being here. And first off, just love to know more about how you got into the space, and what are you the most excited about these days?
Well, first of all, how I got into it, I've been in the TV business for a long time. First of all, owned these two small television stations, and had a lot of fun, and I was able to make a living with these stations. I sold them off all the way back in 2001, and left show business for a year or so, and was very I don't know. I went into the real estate business, and within months of being in the real estate business, I came across a building, and I thought, this would make a great TV studio. So all of a sudden, I'm back in the TV business, and so that's how I got going. And the second part of the question, what was that again?
What are you excited about these days? I mean, I know that you was just on the beach this morning, but what about these days? What are you excited about?
Yeah, I was kidding. I was in the virtual world of the beach. What I'm excited about is that clients can come in here, and if they want to be on the beach, if they want to be in a spaceship, if they want to be in $1 million talk show set, or a host rap set for an awards show like we're doing as we speak, they can do it. And they don't have to spend that $1 million anymore to build that set. They come in here, and with total reality, they're in those any location that they can dream. So talk about creativity. You can be as creative as you want, and nothing will hold you back. So that's what excites me.
I love that. Coming from a filmmaker who has to go and find a production designer and an art department to build out sets, and the amount of money that goes behind that and time, and how you're able to fill in that, I want to say a void, but that need of saving on budget, but we're creating a vision, a grand vision from the director without going over tens of millions and hundreds of millions of dollars. When you are dealing with the Unreal Engine, I've seen the footage, I've seen the videos, and it's outstanding, the technology and where it's coming today. And
what's so amazing, or what I find particularly amazing, there is a marketplace for these environments. Mm-hmm. Probably, maybe 2/3, maybe a third of our clients actually create their own set. They come in here, they have a 3D artist who can make this set exactly the way they want it. But probably 2/3 of our clients, they do things the easy way and the inexpensive way. And if they find the right set in a way that I'm about to tell you, it is flawless. And what it is, there is a marketplace for environments. It's the Unreal Marketplace. And maybe you or your viewers have been there. But the fact is, almost any location that you can think of has already been made. It's been made for a video game by Unreal Engine artists around the world. It could be a 15-year-old kid, or it could be a 30-year industry pro. Anyway, they make these environments specifically for video games, and they make their own video games. After a while, they say, you know what, I want to make a few bucks off of this. They post it to the marketplace. Then guys like me and or video game designers, mostly video game designers, can buy these models already made. And these are spectacular. And by the way, I'm not talking $50,000 for these models. I'm talking $50 or $35. And when you get one of these models, it could be a downtown of a city. You don't just get one little area of the city. You got blocks of the city where all kinds of different stores, and or in the case we have a spectacular international airport set. Now this one I did not get off the marketplace. I found a guy in Taiwan that had this for his own video game, and I was able to work out a deal where he would sell it to me. But anyway, this airport, for example, it has not only the check-in area, but it's got TSA and dining areas and baggage areas. Or we have spaceships or space stations that go on literally for miles. So we can take off and run through these spaceships. And if later I'll tell you how we actually run through a mile-long spaceship when our stage isn't a mile long.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's just amazing to me that or whether you want a living room in Davenport, Iowa, or you want to be up on a mining station on an asteroid, there's a pretty good chance there's already that environment has been created where we buy it for $35. We let it cook, lighting, bake, or whatever when necessary, and either an hour or a day later, depending how long that processing takes, we are there in that environment. So it's really interesting to me.
No, that's fantastic. Just thinking from a creative point of view, and how a lot of creatives these days have found a lot of success on marketplaces by selling their assets. There's vital elements, where people are posting their After Effects templates, their Premiere templates. You have Audio Jungle and other audio marketplaces where people are getting copyright-free music, and they can license music. And I used to be in the 3D printing industry, so I know about Thingiverse, where they used to have 3D artists that used to upload their 3D STL and OBJ models for people to download and print. And so this whole idea of people creating these environments at home and are able to sell them, you're giving access to people like myself and producers and studios to outstanding and fantastical, environments, at the same time giving opportunities for artists to make some money and share their art. So kudos to you. It's
maybe they only
amazing.
sell it for $50, but you do that 100 times, that's $5 grand. You do it 1,000 times, that's $50,000 for these things. So I presumably it adds up.
Yeah, and I think also because as a filmmaker and a video producer, what we do is that we go online to find these templates, because it is hard for myself to learn Nuke and any other type of 3D or Maya or whatnot to create these environments. I would rather pay for someone else to do it. Why not just pay someone who's already made it? And so,
even the pros that it's their business to make these from scratch. If they find an environment, a model, something that's already been modeled on the marketplace, they'll buy it, make their changes to it, because you have full rights to do that. Make the changes to it. So even the big guys are doing that. It's really amazing.
So tell me about the process about, you said that some people do come in with their own 3D models, but there's also the process of you working with people in order for you to provide them with that environment. How are you able to, do you have, of course, the marketplace here, you can pick from here. Do you consult, or how does that process usually work for someone who wants to find an environment through you?
There are several ways to do it. Option one is you find just the environment you're looking for on the marketplace. So that's the easy way. That's the inexpensive way. Option B, you find something in the vicinity, in the ballpark of what you're looking for on the marketplace. Then my guys, or anybody who works with 3D, change it, adjust it to get it right close to your vision. And then the third way is that you have somebody make it right from scratch. And that costs more money, but it's still going to be a fraction of the price of actually building one of these $1 million sets. So those are the three ways to do it. You get it ready to go from the marketplace. You get it from the marketplace, then adjust it, or you get it made right from scratch. Now, there's one other option for these like big talk show sets and host rap sets or game show sets, that kind of thing. We are working with people that create these. We have, I don't know, maybe 20, 30 sets now that accumulated that are gorgeous. They're used on network television shows or whatever. And with those sets, we have deals with the creators of those sets that every time it's used, they get a certain amount of money. So
Amazing.
that's the other thing. You get one of our library sets, and you pay a rights fee for use of it, and all of a sudden you've got something that the equivalent that you will have seen on network television. In fact, these are used on network television, so they're at a very high level. Again, easier than building your own, and less expensive, of course.
No, it's beautiful. I think that when I'm thinking about sets at this moment and how people are trying to keep their sets and their crew a little low, it's below
Yeah.
10 people, and to build out something and to have extras, you can now create that in this 3D environment. And so you're giving a lot of productions during this COVID era a chance to create these immense environments and be in these productions without having to build it out and worry about if it's COVID compliant. And so
Yeah.
how have you found the past couple of months with the type of projects that are coming in? Do you find that there has been an influx of features, more TV, digital? What kind of projects are you seeing these days?
Yeah, mostly TV.
Mm-hmm.
Our last, well, I don't know, our last big shoots very recently, we've been shooting for Viacom CBS, a series for Netflix, a game show for Fox. Right now, Hallmark is here doing something, so it's been mostly TV. We've done some movie stuff too, but mostly TV right at the moment. And I say TV. We did a shoot for Facebook Live just recently with a well-known hip hop artist. So I don't know, what do you call that when it's on Facebook Live? Is that TV?
It's like streaming. It's strange to say these days. Yeah.
So, and of course Netflix, they're streaming, but yeah. So, but it's we haven't been doing as many movies as we'd like to do. What was the last one we did, Brooks? I have a colleague here. What was that?
Airport scene in
Yeah, we just did it. We did a scene that took place in an airport for a movie recently. But what I really want to get into, and we've got some people we're negotiating with right now, it's probably a half dozen or so that do want to come in here and shoot their full feature films. As we are using elite cinema cameras. When you come into our place, basically the place is all the stuff is tethered together. So we have cameras, our camera crane, everything's together, ready to go. The cameras we're using Vericam 35 cinema cameras and cinema lenses. So those are the same cameras that are used on the series Ozark, which was nominated for Best Cinematography Emmy, and then also on Netflix, Anne with an E, Arrested Development, Orange is the New Black. I go through a laundry list. Major hit movies, like beautiful movies from Warner Brothers, including Crazy Rich Asians. Anyway, those cameras are the cameras that we chose to go with because they are spectacular cinema cameras. So we're ripe for making movies and more scripted stuff. So that's an area that we're more and more getting into. And you mentioned COVID. Yeah, I hate to be that guy, but our business is better than ever right now. I was worried, like most businesses, man, how am I going to survive? But all of a sudden the phone started ringing because people want, as you mentioned, Mitchell, we can work with very small crews. And so we think it's the best way to shoot anyway, COVID or no COVID, but particularly at this time, it's the way to go. Another big thing that happened is that the word got out from The Mandalorian on Disney that they are using the Unreal Engine, and believe we take it considerably further. We believe we've got a better way of doing it than the way they do it. Now, I'm not going to say our productions are at the level of The Mandalorian, although I guess some of them are. I'm not the producer of those, but anyway, Mandalorian's a big budget, big beautiful production, but the actual way we use the Unreal Engine makes more sense for most of our clients than the way they do it. So anyway,
that's fantastic.
it's a good time to be shooting with the Unreal Engine.
Yeah, because I'm just thinking about, of course, the Avatar and just other types of movies that we've seen in the past where they've used, 3D created or CGI created backgrounds, and now you're making it accessible to, I would say, smaller productions, but people who didn't have access to to a whole 3D effects team.
Well,
Because,
I want to
yeah,
say this, like when you shoot like in one of our spaceships, for example, just using that as an example, you are right in that spaceship. You tilt down at the floor, and you've got that metallic floor, or whatever it is, the spaceship floor. You tilt up towards the ceiling. You're seeing the spaceship up there. The walls over here. You
mm,
shoot around back behind you, shoot 360 degrees. You're seeing down the corridor from the other way. So you are right in that spaceship. The way that others are using the Unreal Engine, to me, is an inferior way. They just have the
mm,
Unreal in effect in the back, and then they have to build out a whole set to go along with the plate or the environment
wow,
in the back. So you have to build real floors and real ceilings
mm,
and real everything where we don't. So
wow, that's
we're
interesting.
in those sets and interacting with the virtual things. They can't do it. Theirs just behind them. So we've got a better way to shoot.
So it's a pure virtual world. And when you do have an actor, character, host that needs to, let's say, sit down on the couch or touch something or needs some kind of tangible object in order for them to look real, how does that work in the environment? Is
It's very simple.
mm-hmm,
Uh, you bring in as much real stuff as you want, real
mm-hmm,
furniture. You can use virtual furniture too. If
mm-hmm,
you're using virtual furniture, let's say, I think I used an example. We've got a $30,000 couch
hmm,
that we have on stage. Well, it would be $30,000 if it were real. It's not a real couch. Well, we don't want to spend $30,000 on a couch. But we like the look of a $30,000 couch. So we have green boxes
mm,
and even a green kind of sofa type thing we bring out. So it looks like you're nestling right down into this $30,000 couch, but it cost us zero. So anyway, but that being said, or we can click the computer mouse and that couch disappears and we put in a
mm,
real couch. So actors, that's one concern people have before they shoot here. Oh, the actors, they're going to be looking around and seeing green. They're not. They are interacting with real props,
mm-hmm,
real furniture. Usually they're in a scene with other actors. They're interacting with those other actors. They look up in the monitors, and instead of seeing themselves in this big green room, they see themselves in that spaceship or that living room or in that airport. And I can tell you, I've spoken with countless actors, and it is like they actually start thinking they're in those environments. So a few other notes here that you'll find really interesting. We figured
mm-hmm,
out that you want, most of our clients want things to look real, even though we can we sometimes combine live action with animation, so the backgrounds and the environments can be animated like you're in a cartoon. But most people want total reality. So
mm-hmm,
another little thing, sometimes in the past, in fact, often, uh, virtual looked kind of fake because you couldn't see shadows on something as simple as shadows on the floor. We figured out how to have real shadows on the floors and shadows on walls that aren't even there. So you do get that total reality that a lot of creatives have been looking for. But as you were saying, you can be in these incredible environments without spending that $200 million to build those environments. But the other thing is that if you're look, the name of the game in show business is doing the shoot, getting where you want to be, and making some money off of this. That's what the name of the game is. But
mm-hmm.
there are a few things too that this is a very environmentally conscious
That's right.
group of people. And the fact is, when you are in a virtual world, you're not cutting down trees and burning, fuel to construct the sets and everything else. So, from an environmental standpoint, there just couldn't be a cleaner way of doing things, too.
That's fascinating. That's actually a great point and something that a lot of productions should think about, because it's true. If you go in on location and you build out a set, I've seen so many prop houses or warehouses where props have died. It's a graveyard of props that they're trying to get rid of, and it's a lot of waste. And what you were doing is you really are reducing waste, and that's
Yeah.
amazing.
How about this, Mitchell? When you shoot season 1 or episode 1 or a pilot or whatever of a particular location, let's say it's a what appears to be $1 million talk show set. Well, you may have a 6-month hiatus. When you come, you've either got to store that set during that 6 months. I will tell you about the traditional way, or you tear that set down and throw it in the garbage and then build it again 6 months or a year from now. With ours, you're ready for season 2. It's stored on a thumb drive, and you've got that set back and ready to go, which is also environmentally and financially, though, just a very advantageous.
It's true. And now I'm also thinking when it comes to lighting as well. I mean, you have already a built out set and pre-lit sets. You don't have to worry about energy and generators or whatnot. And you're creating this whole environment that for a creative, so that it reduces waste, reduces power, and it actually expands your vision. So it's just a win-win situation. And when it comes to lighting, how does that work actually? Because I know that you can have real shadows here or there. Is it lit flat? Do your environments change the lighting?
Yeah, well, basically, the environments are made to be the virtual environments are lit in a particular way, where it looks like you've got a window over here, the sun is coming in through the window. So with every shoot, then we take our real lights and match them up with the virtual lights, and then of course make people look pretty, and or if we want some overall vibe to a scene, we want just overall lighting, dark and gloomy or whatever. We can match it up. We match up the real lighting with the virtual lighting. Plus, we go through some hardware that we can just bring down the mood of the background and bring down the mood of the foreground. All you gotta do is just what you do in the background, you want to replicate in the foreground, either with real light or with virtual light, which is easy to do.
Yeah,
and we have the same LED lights. Like, some people say, well, the advantage of using the LED walls is that you'll get that glow off the sets, off the LEDs behind you, which you'll get the authentic lighting. But I say that's really not that big a deal, because first of all, almost all that lighting is coming from behind. So, you get the back of your head all beautifully lit, but I'm not sure that's a huge advantage. But the fact is, we have LED lights, a gorgeous array of beautiful LED lights, RGBW, so you can control the color and everything else. So you can get those same LED lights that would be in the video wall with our real LED lights, and we can have them hanging down, and we can mask out the ceiling. So again, as soon as the camera tilts up or whatever, you don't see that light hanging down. You see that ceiling. It's just it really, even industry pros who've been in this business for so long, they walk onto our stage. I mean, let alone your friends and neighbors who know nothing about the TV business, they can't believe it. But even these special effects people, they can't believe what they're seeing. So in the time of COVID, yeah, it's the way to go. But as you and I have mentioned before, for me, it's the way to go anyway.
I believe you.
In my opinion.
Yeah, and now just talking to you, with a lot of people talking about technology and how it's actually giving people jobs, but also taking jobs away from people. And when it comes to like a 3D world or whatnot, people are going to say, oh, okay, the production designers won't have jobs, or PAs won't be there or whatnot. And what I'm thinking is, how has technology helped the business? And also, how do you see the future of the industry with this type of technology? Like, is it going to create more jobs? Is it going to give it more to the computers and AI? And how is it going to help the industry, technology in general?
Yeah, well, here's the way it creates jobs. And we do get asked that question. So that's a great question, Mitchell. But the fact is, it creates jobs. You don't lose any jobs, because these productions that they're coming in here to shoot, it's not like they're taking away the people working on the real sets and this and that, because there just wouldn't be the production. This is all bonus production. This production that is filmed using these virtual techniques, it's not like they're necessarily deciding between the real and the virtual. They just couldn't do it any other way. There would be no production. So that's my 90% of the time, there would be no production at all. If you, because either the clients wouldn't have, it just opens it up. They're going to be able to have so many more productions because it's so much more affordable that all of a sudden you've got enough money. This producer has enough money to do the shoot where they just wouldn't have the money to do it otherwise. So these are all new bonus positions or productions that wouldn't be done otherwise. So you'll still have those other productions, but you'll have these too.
That's right. And then I think it's amazing how you're able to take the productions that we have right now, put into a 3D world, and it actually forces people to adapt and find ways to, oh, okay, you know what? I can scale back production and then make more. And that in turn create more jobs.
You're scaling it back, but it's not like, oh, you're settling for second best. You got a better production too. So it's really interesting that the productions that just don't have that, you know, they don't have the $20 million to do something. They come in and do it here. It's not that their production is not as good as that $20 million production. Sometimes it's even better.
So what do you say to creative people or artists out there, or the old school visual effects people or directors who say, you know, technology is bad. It's taking away the old school ways of doing things, especially from you, because you've owned previous TV studios. You know how it used to be, but you've actually adapted and taken on technology and run with it, which is amazing. What do you just say to those people who are just stuck in their old ways?
Well, I say that's fine. Keep doing it that way. Leave it for guys like me to make that money. But really, I'm not taking it away from anything, because again, that big budget production, that Tom Cruise production is still going to be shot. We're not taking that production away. Although I am pleased to say we did do some scenes from a Tom Cruise movie.
Amazing.
But nevertheless, I don't believe we're taking. I don't think people are deciding between shooting here and you know, whatever, and building a multi-million-dollar set. I think they don't have the choice to do that multi-million-dollar set. It's this innovation, this necessity, this economic necessity to save some money and open some doors that brings people to us. But I just believe that those productions just wouldn't be done if they didn't have this technology.
That's right. And how do you feel that technology helps with creativity? How does technology help with artists and directors and even producers and writers out there?
Well, it just, you know, in the case of, okay, I have a producer friend of mine who was, before COVID struck, was on the set of Star Trek in Toronto. And then he came down and saw our spaceship set. And this really is an aside, but he said, what are we doing? We spent millions of dollars for the Star Trek set. And we got to keep paying. He didn't know COVID was coming, but the fact is they got to now, even while everything was black, they had to keep paying for the set, for the rental and everything else. So what if I could have, for $35, I could have had a set that's just as good or better. But anyway, getting back again, is this taking away jobs? No, but for creatively, it just opens up the doors, because there's certain shoots. Again, if you're Steven Spielberg or whatever, it probably doesn't help that much. I mean, he can do whatever he wants in the real world because he's got the money. But for those of us that don't have just unlimited funds, it just opens it up where you can really shoot anywhere. You want to be in Victorian London or whatever, you can do it here without building a massive real set over many months, and you then throw in the garbage at the end. So creatively, it opens up huge doors. That being said, some of these big boys, even though they can spend $100 million, if they could save, $10 million here, $10 million there, they'll do it. And then they can, I guess my theory is they would then put that 10 or 20 million into some other aspect of their production that would keep employing the people and all this. Or I guess they could just take that 10 or 20 million and put it in their pockets. But the guys I'm dealing with, they're not they're not making those decisions. They're just trying to figure out how to get this production done.
Yeah, no, it's great to talk to you about this because I'm just seeing the advent of Zoom, of course, and how phones and the technology and how people are now have access to live streaming and using technology to be as creative as possible and to create the things they've always wanted to create. So in the end of the day, there's no more excuses. So when it comes to someone, yeah.
But that being said, we're here to make a money, or we're here to make a living, and we've invested a lot, and we're paying. This is a big, beautiful place right in the heart of Burbank. So I got expenses to pay, so I got to get those expenses covered, and hopefully have a couple of bucks left over. So we're not. It's not free by any means, but we're LA Castle Studios in Burbank. Your viewers can Google it, or maybe you got a link somewhere, but there's a contact page, and just contact us if you want to know pricing. We'll email you everything out, what it includes. And when you consider that we are the gears here, the audio, the video, the technology, when you consider it, that it's all here and it's the bulk of it is included in our price, it actually is a tremendous bargain. It's real money, but it's as I said, it's a bargain.
Yeah, for sure. When it comes to not having to spend on locations and having to shoot in different countries, yes, or even in space, yes, it's definitely a bargain.
Yeah.
So Tim, thank you so much. I really enjoyed talking to you about technology and what you're offering filmmakers and directors and creatives out there. And so kudos to you. And I can't wait to actually see the type of productions coming out there. And one of these days you'll see me inside there creating the next Star Trek 18.
Good, Mitchell. Thanks very much.
Yeah. Before I go, just let people know, I think you said a little bit where to find you, but how can we find you and how can we connect?
Okay, it is LA Castle Studios in Burbank. And in case you're wondering, it's at Olive and Victory. There's a big building. It looks like a castle. That's us. And so it's lacastlestudios.com. And there's a contact page on there. You see my phone number. And again, my name's Tim. You'll usually be dealing right with me. And so I encourage any of your viewers to contact us. We'll get them rates and everything else, and hopefully do some business together.
Outstanding. Thank you so much, Tim. Have a great rest of your day, and hopefully you get to go to your virtual beach later on.
All right. Thanks, Mitchell.
Bye. Thank you for listening to the Creative Haven podcast. And if you dig it and like what you heard today, please give us a nice review and rating and share it with one of your friends that you think needs some creative inspiration. You can always find more content and resources at thecreativehaven.com and hit me up on Instagram at Mitchell Doomlau. And if you want to reach out, collab, or ask any questions, you have my permission to slide into my DMs. So keep positive, continue to learn and hone your craft, and create all day. Salamat.